Hello Thrashers, and welcome to another episode of the Block Thrasher Daily Crypto Update, where we are simplifying crypto. That's right, by shattering the complexities with news, commentary, analysis, and education. You know, one of the most frustrating things about being human is our limitations, right? I mean, at times. Maybe it's not that frustrating. Obviously, we are seriously limited in so many ways. We have physical limitations. We have mental limitations, economic limitations, on and on and on it goes. Right now, one of the things that I wish I can do, maybe you thought about this before, is teleport instantly to another location. I've been traveling so much, and the time it takes when you travel and all the issues that arise, flat tires and stopping for fuel and kids getting just... You know what happens on long road trips with the family, right? And I've got 4. It's all good. It's all the stuff you look back on. But that limitation of being confined to one space, one place at a time, that ubiety, U-B-I-E-T-Y, it is our word of the day. Ubiety. It's the property of having a definite location at a given time. A state of existing and being localized in space. And right now, I am limited by ubiety, as we all are. And it's all right. It's just the way it is. But it's hot. And it's humid. Because I am in southern Texas, just outside of Houston, at my parents' ranch. This morning, needing to got up super early, combing through the cryptocurrency news so that I can bring to you the best possible news information today. Analyzing everything, reading, getting ready, needing to record. Got something I've got to get to. Here at my parents' ranch. My mom is out on the ride along the big, huge, massive sit on and ride lawnmower, which just makes an insane amount of noise. Flying past the window where I'm staying. Because I'm staying at my parents' ranch. And I couldn't record. It was too noisy. So a little bit delayed. But here we are. I've got a good episode for you today. Let's jump in and take a look at what's going on in the market. Now, I just watched the Bitcoin dominance go from 41% like 2 hours ago to 42% currently. And what's happening? Well, ETH is taking a little bit of a hit in those last 2 hours. I mean, Bitcoin also is down 5.2% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin currently 55,117. But ETH starting to take a little bit of a dump after it saw a very nice rise this last week, up 14.7%, but now down 4.5% to 3,947. It has dropped back below the $4,000 mark. Of course, we saw it hit 4,100, I think 4,200, somewhere in that range was the new all-time high that it just hit over the last couple of days. ETH doing very well. Currently, it is now captured 18.7% of the total market capitalization. Gas prices also at the same time are insane. Standard Gwei, 314 currently. That hurts. There's an Ethereum token that I'm considering that I wouldn't mind picking up some of currently, but I don't want to go to Uniswap, and you can't throw a few $100s into something when the exchange and the trade on Uniswap is going to cost you $50, $60, $70 as the current gas prices are. And this is just a problem that we've been talking about repeatedly over and over and over again. Now, just an hour or two ago, when I started looking at the market to talk about things today, there was only one coin that was in the green on the 24 hours, and that was Cardano. Currently, it is also now in the red. Cardano has dropped a bit in the last hour. Was experiencing a nice pump an hour ago. It was going up to $1.77. So pretty much we've got a red market at the moment. It's not bloody. These are only, 2, 4, 5. There's some that are hurting a little bit more when we get deeper down into the, and also XRP is down negative 10.2% at the moment. So we got a little bit of pain going on today, but there are some bright spots. And on the weekly, we're still looking really good for Ethereum, for Dogecoin. Ethereum up 14.7%, Doge up 10.7%, Cardano up 24.7%. Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Chainlink are all still well into the green on the weekly, but on the daily, everything's taking a hit. On this Tuesday, May 11th, 7:53 a.m. where I am, by the way. Binance Coin, $649.12, down 0.6%. XRP, $1.40. Dogecoin, 48 cents. Cardano, $1.70. Polkadot, 36.78. Bitcoin Cash, 1,344. Litecoin, 351. Chainlink, $45.53. Uniswap, 36.75. Stellar, 63 cents. VeChain, 20 cents. Ethereum Classic, $103. Now there is the weekly winner. Up 100% in the last 7 days. Solana, $40.84. Solana's taking a hit, down 11.3% on the week, down 6.6% on the last 24 hours. This might be a great time to grab some Solana, and some other, if you have something else that you've been looking to pick up. The timing is good here. All right, let's move on to the news of the day. Enough about the market. Couple stories that illustrate that we're moving in the direction of adoption. And these are stories that we've sort of touched upon before because they sort of come around in the cycle, it seems like. But Nebraska has introduced a bill to allow banks to offer crypto services. Nebraska senators have favored a measure that would allow state banks to facilitate crypto transactions like those in Wyoming. So what are the details here? State senators favored the measure through the first of 3 required votes in the legislature, with 39 lawmakers voting to advance the bill for enrollment and initial review on Sunday. Introduced by Republican Mike Flood in January, which is when I think we talked about this, Legislature Bill 649 aims to adopt the Nebraska Financial Innovation Act. That's what they're calling it, the NFIA, and create digital asset depository institutions, as well as provide for charter, operation, supervision, and regulation of such institutions. The initiative would reportedly make Nebraska the second state in the United States to set up a formal charter for cryptocurrency-powered banks, allowing them to facilitate crypto transactions. Wyoming was the first state to do so, chartering its first crypto bank in September of 2020. Senator Flood said that he introduced the bill after talking with an entrepreneur friend who decided to move into the crypto industry in Wyoming. Here's the thing about all of this. Positive, negative, pros, cons. The pros, this is good for adoption. This type of thing demonstrates that the regulatory concerns are being, wiped away. What are the negatives? The negatives, we've talked about this before, the negatives are, once all of this starts to happen, and we're seeing this trend, and we're actually going to have another story about this subject of regulation coming up in just a bit, so hold tight for that. But once this type of thing starts to happen, my concern is that we're going to see an environment where there's going to be approved crypto, legally regulated, clean, right? And not approved, not clean. almost like black market. And the way that that's going to happen is once you have these chartered banking institutions that are state approved to hold your crypto and custody your crypto and transfer and buy and sell and do all the other things, the next step is that's the only way you can do it. No more privacy, no more private keys, no more DEXs, no more peer-to-peer. Because, hey, after all, for your safety, right, we need to protect you. And, there's a ton of talk about that. And again, that's what that story we're going to look at here in a bit is going to be about. But is we need to protect the retail investors. We need to protect the consumers. We need to protect, coming from the SEC, coming from the regulatory agencies around the world. How do we do that? Centralized banking institutions, and we provide some kind of insurance, right? That's sort of like the FDIC or something, but it's kind of ridiculous because there's no insurance if you go and invest in the stock market using Robinhood. There's no insurance. You can lose all kinds of money there, right? And there are stocks that are volatile. To say that there aren't, the only cryptocurrency is volatile, and that's one of the reasons for it. Well, it's such a volatile space, right? Which actually it's been becoming increasingly less volatile, except for low market cap. But if you take the top market cap stocks, the volatility is decreasing over time as the market matures, and that's going to continue to happen. When something's nascent, when it's new, of course there's volatility because people rush in and they panic and they're not certain, all this sort of thing. So this is the only concerning thing about it, is that once the foundation is laid for you to use a bank to hold and custody and do all of your transactions, you no longer do it yourself, which is completely in opposition to the whole ideology of crypto is to be unbanked. It's to not be subject to the whims of that third party, of that bank. It's to have that privacy. It's to have that freedom. It's to interact without that. So we'll see what happens. But on the positive note, crypto's here to stay. Crypto's not going anywhere. Another story about adoption here, coming from cointelegraph.com. The CBOE files another Bitcoin ETF application with the SEC. 2 months after filing Van Eck's Bitcoin ETF, CBOE has submitted another application, one proposed by Fidelity, to the SEC. The Chicago Board Options Exchange, or CBOE, has filed Fidelity's Wise Origin Bitcoin BTC exchange-traded fund with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. CBOE filed a Form 19B-4 on Monday, seeking to list Fidelity's Wise Origin Bitcoin Trust Bitcoin ETF. That was initially submitted to the SEC by the $4.9 trillion asset manager back in March. Monday's form, which puts CBOE as the exchange partner for Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF filing, has triggered the SEC approval process. The Commission's first response window will close in 45 days, upon which the SEC will elect to extend or reject the application altogether. In total, the SEC has 240 days to evaluate Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF application. So this will be a good test to see whether or not the SEC chair, Gensler, is actually pro-crypto or not. We've been getting so many mixed messages of late. Obviously, initially, everybody thought this was a really good thing for the crypto space with Gensler coming in because he knows about crypto and he's taught classes about Bitcoin. And so the thought was that it would be good. But then recently, he's made some very alarming statements, as we talked about yesterday, about many cryptos being securities. And that's kind of like, whoa. I mean, if that's true, It doesn't end with XRP and Ripple. It means there's a whole bunch of, are they going to be going after anybody out there that had an IPO? I mean, an ICO? We'll see. Continuing on with this subject of regulation and protecting investors. We need to protect you. Oh my goodness, people. I just got to tell you, I am so concerned about this whole ideology that seems to be growing and is pervasive throughout government, that they need to protect us. They need to protect us from ourselves. I think it's a slippery slope that's getting worse and worse and worse. And the thing of it is it's so subtle and it's so abstract. People just don't realize what's happening. It is a slow boiling of the frog. It starts small. Well, we need to make sure that you wear seatbelts and that you have insurance, and then you have to have health insurance, and then you have to this, and then you have to that, and on and on and on it goes. And a lot of these things seem like really good things on face value because they keep people safe and they save lives. And who doesn't want to save lives? Everybody wants to save lives. And if you come out and you stand up against anything that purportedly saves lives, you look like an idiot or an uncaring and unloving and unkind person. So it's very powerful. The problem is, where does it stop? Where does it stop? Every single one of you, including myself, engages in activities every single day that are dangerous and that are risky. We get in the car and we drive and we could get in an accident. Some of you go skiing. There's lots of skiing accidents, even fatalities every day. Some even skydive. Oh my gosh. That parachute may or may not open. Maybe we should outlaw skydiving. Shoot, people get married, which can be dangerous. Especially economically when that falls apart. I'm kidding. Marriage is a good thing. I support it. But the list goes on and on and on. You can go and you can drink alcohol, which is proven to be bad for your health. You can do things that we know cause cancer. You can still smoke cigarettes. There's a lot of things that you can do, and then there's all these other things you can't do, and there's all these inconsistencies. But my point is, when government and a society adopts the ideology that they need to protect us from ourselves at all costs, that's the primary, most important thing, freedom just gets destroyed. Because then it becomes no, you can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah. And there's always some busybody politician out there that wants to come up with some kind of good cause about how they're going to help everybody by keeping everybody safe. Where does it end? Sitting in a padded cell? In a bubble? Well, then that's not safe, because there's going to become some mental health ramifications of that, and people are going to become suicidal. We saw that with the lockups with COVID, the shutdowns. Sorry, I really got off on a tangent here, but this has been irking me and getting at me. Having fun, enjoying life necessitates danger and risk. You cannot have one without the other. We are mortal beings. We're actually quite fragile. Sorry, I know this doesn't have that much to do with crypto, but it does also. We die. We get sick. We have accidents. We're not going to live forever. There needs to be balance. There's balance between risk and adventure and fun and enjoying life and safety. And you know what? A lot of the things that just get the emotions charged up and fired up and the adrenaline fired up and just make life worth living are freaking dangerous. There's danger. You might get hurt. Yeah, but you know what? We calculate that risk and we say, it's worth it. I would rather jump out of that helicopter and ski down the side of that mountain because I'm living and run the risk of dying than sit in a padded room in a chair somewhere doing nothing with very little risk. I choose A because I want to live my life. And you know what? When it comes to investing and in cryptocurrency and this sort of thing, it's the same thing. We all know. We're not stupid. We know there's risk. All right, I put $1,000 into Dogecoin. It could go to $1. Or it could go to 0.06 cents. If I get in at 50 cents, let's say, I could essentially lose all my money or I could double my money. I know that. It's a risk I'm going to take. I don't need to be protected by the government from that. Because you know what that protection means? Protection means that I'm not going to be allowed to take that risk. That's what it means. Only the wealthy are going to be allowed to take that risk. So the wealthy get to double, triple, 10x their money. And the regular guy, like you and me, we have to be safe. So we have to keep going to work, working some kind of okay job, dead-end job, whatever job it is, right? So South Korea and Singapore are grappling with how to protect their investors. As institutional and retail interest in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies has grown exponentially in recent months, governments across the world have also been grappling with how to respond to price volatility and other risks to consumers. Price volatility is what we're in the game for. We want to see the price go up. Things that go up also come down. We know that. If we would just stay in fiat if we didn't want volatility. Of course, long term, there's not a lot of volatility in fiat in the short term, unless we have really fast rising inflation. That's where that volatility kicks in, where your gas is now suddenly $1.50 more than it was 3 or 4 months ago. That's some volatility, right? Not extreme volatility. I mean, thankfully, we're not going to the gas pump and it's $15 one day and $3 the next day. But that's how you see significant gains, right? And it's a trader's dream. We want the volatility if you're going to be a trader. But if you just put in $100 and it becomes $1,000 in 5 years and there's like very little volatility, whoop-de-doo. But that's what they want for you. But no, we want to get in on something that's new, that's nascent, that's just like revolutionary and transforming things and changing things so we can see some crazy intense, crazy 1,000% or 10x gains. But yeah, there's going to be volatility that's going to go with it. But okay, I don't care. Bring it on. That's the point. That's why we're doing what we're doing. U.S. Security and Exchange Commission, getting back to this story, Chairman Gary Gensler told the House Committee of Financial Services last week that the U.S. $2 trillion cryptocurrency market could benefit from greater investor protection, including regulation for crypto exchanges. Quote, that could instill greater confidence, Gensler said. Right now, there's not a market regulator around these crypto exchanges, and thus there's really no protection around fraud and manipulation. Here in Asia, a similar... So you mean to tell me that none of the government agencies right now, Gensler, will go after fraud? What happened with BitConnect? I'm pretty sure that happened. That got shut down. Pretty sure the SEC's going after XRP right now, and they're not going even after fraud. But why not? Nothing prohibits them from going after fraudsters who are taking people's money, that are committing crimes. I mean, I'm pretty sure fraud, special financial fraud, is already illegal. And the manipulation thing, sure, I get it, but you can't You can't. There's manipulation in the freaking regular stuff. Look what happened with Wall Street, with the GameStop and Wall Street Bets and Robinhood and all this kind of thing. You can tell me that's regulated. See, that's regulated manipulation, so that's okay. Going back to the story. Here in Asia, a similar debate over crypto has been playing out. Should crypto be regulated more, and if so, how? What, if anything, should governments do to protect their citizens from the hazards of speculation, crime, and other crypto investment risks? Okay, crime, yes. Protect us from crime. You get some fraudsters that come along and they create a coin and they do a rug pull. Nail those sons of motherless goats. Nail them. You get somebody pumping and dumping. If it turns out that Elon Musk bought a boatload of Doge and then he pumps it because of his celebrity status and position and then dumps it, nail him. Go after him for market manipulation. But protecting us from the hazards of speculation, what does that mean? No. Crypto policy responses run the gamut and are as varied as the countries themselves. In South Korea, lawmakers are debating a bill to tighten regulations over cryptocurrency exchanges. Singapore, which already regulates cryptocurrency exchanges, is focusing on public education. Singapore is focusing on public education. Now, there's an idea I can get behind. You know, this makes me think of the whole smoking cigarettes thing. Did they outlaw smoking? No. Did they ban it? No. Has cigarette smoking significantly decreased over the years? Yes. In certain parts of the country, it's still very popular. In some, it's almost non-existent. How? Why? And how? Through education campaigns. You saw the ads. And it was extremely effective. And so this is Singapore's approach. And I think this is brilliant. This is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. As long as people know that they're speculating, that they're taking risk. But you know what? Freaking the whole life is risk. Holding dollars is risk. There's no guarantee. This is what makes me laugh about it. These jokers in government, and there's no guarantee that the $1,000 I hold in cash today is going to buy me even close in 2 or 5 years what it buys me today. That's why everybody's getting into crypto and other assets that are deflationary or a hedge against inflation. Because we don't trust them to properly manage our fiat currency. We don't trust our government and the Federal Reserve and the other financial regulatory agencies and institutions that rule us, that run this world. We don't trust them to do what's in our best interests. We know they are destroying and debasing our currency, that the purchasing power, it's undeniable and indisputable fact that the purchasing power of the dollar constantly is being eroded. So we're trying to protect ourselves actually from them. Yet they're showing up and saying, hey, we want to protect you. Best way to do it. You want to protect us? Educate us. Educate all the people out there that think they're going to become a millionaire by putting $100 into Dogecoin or whatever. Educate them on what the risks are. Teach them about supply and demand and market cap and total supply and max supply and circulating supply and all the other kind of things that are going on. Singapore, which already regulates cryptocurrency exchanges, is focusing on public education. Good for Singapore. Other Asian governments from Hong Kong to India are in a state of regulatory flux as policymakers grapple over to what degree to protect crypto retail investors. And you know what? All this is a ruse anyway. This is a ruse for we want to make sure we're able to collect taxes. So how will South Korea regulate crypto? In South Korea, regulation of cryptocurrency is just kicking off. On May 7th, lawmaker Lee Young-woo of South Korea's ruling Democratic Party spearheaded a bill called the Virtual Assets Industry Act. Lee, who is also the representative of 20 other members of the National Assembly who co-signed the bill, explained that cryptocurrency transactions are already an everyday reality. So rather than debating whether Bitcoin or altcoins have any real value, clearly regulations are needed to protect its users. As consumer protection is its main objective, the proposed law would require cryptocurrency exchanges to manage conflict of interest, undertake anti-money laundering and know your customer AMLC and KYC measures, and provide insurance for users? What kind of insurance can an exchange provide? I mean, the only insurance they can provide that I could see that they could provide is against loss of funds, such as if they were to lose the crypto that you hold. But they can't insure against loss when you're just trading. I mean, if an asset drops in value 20 or 30%, this is insane. This is ridiculous. There's no reality in that idea. If enacted, the proposed law would expand the amended Act on reporting and use of certain financial transaction information. There you go. Which requires cryptocurrency businesses to register with Korea Financial Unit FIU before September 24th. So what they're really looking for is reporting. We want to know. We want all the data. That's what this is about, friends. 9 times out of most of the time. This is about we want access. We want the transaction records. We want the details. We want the data. You have to register with us, and then you have to submit to us. You have to report what is happening. Members of Korea's blockchain industry seem to welcome this regulatory effort. They said, quote, "We have anticipated such regulation as it provides more guidance as to how a virtual asset business should operate and how legitimate businesses could distance themselves from illegal and false representation of virtual asset transactions," said Kim Jae-jin, director of Korea Blockchain Association, in an interview with Forecast News. She added that while South Korea's crypto industry approves of this initiative, it would keep an eye on how it takes into account the industry's opinions going forward. You know, and again, just to dial things in to be a little objective here and balanced, there are issues with centralized exchanges where regulation could be needed. And let me explain. And this is why decentralized exchanges are the future and a beautiful thing. This is the genius behind smart contracts, which allow all this to happen. The reason, what my concern for a centralized exchange and my concern for protecting consumers who use that centralized exchange is not the volatility of the cryptocurrency industry. That's not a problem. That's just a market. That's a free market at work. The problem is if you have an exchange that is selling a digital asset, let's just say Bitcoin, that they don't actually have, and they could do that. They can do that because it's all internal accounting. So you sign up for Fly by Night Exchange, Flybit, we'll call it. You deposit $1,000 into Flybit and you go and you trade. Everything looks like you're getting Bitcoin, but it's just an entry in their database. There's no actual Bitcoin, right? And they incentivize you somehow to keep it on the exchange. Maybe there's some interest earned, or your fees are less if you keep it on the exchange, right? And don't withdraw it. You're incentivized somehow. So you just keep it on your exchange. And they do this knowing that most people are never going to withdraw that $1,000 Bitcoin. Now, some will, but if it's a small percentage, then they have to go out and find the Bitcoin on the market, or they hold a certain amount of Bitcoin, right? This is fractional reserve banking, essentially. So those few people that do actually withdraw it to a private address, well then, and here's what's ironic about it. If the freaking regulatory agencies and governments of the world outlaw private, like self-custody, where you can send the Bitcoin out to your own private wallet, so they essentially don't allow withdrawing, then this increases the possibility that this type of fraud can go on. And this type of fraud is what goes on in the banking world anyway. In the traditional banking world. This is what goes on in the commodity exchanges, where more gold and silver and other things are sold than actually exist. The markets are far larger than what actually exists of the actual asset in reality. So the whole thing is just a ruse, people. It just makes me, it kind of gets me a little pissed, to be honest. But that's what we need to be protected from. So then there's a run on the exchange, right? Because everybody wants to withdraw their Bitcoin at the same time. And oh, sorry. We've shut down. We've suspended withdrawals temporarily because guess what? We don't actually have the Bitcoin. So yeah, there needs to be some protection against that type of thing. Sure. But Singapore, props to Singapore. Another reason why I like the KuCoin exchange, which is based out of Singapore. Anything operating out of Singapore gets my attention right now. Singapore is saying the best defense is an, quote, informed public. Yes. Amen to that. While Korea is looking to tighten its regulatory leash over crypto, Singapore, regarded as one of the crypto-friendliest nations in Asia, has taken a different approach. Singapore already regulates exchanges offering trading in cryptocurrencies as digital payment token service providers under the Payment Services Act, primarily to deter money laundering and terrorism financing. For now, rather than adding to or expanding current regulations, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, known as MAS, the country's central bank and regulator, prefers taking to the stage with a megaphone. MAS has repeatedly issued warnings to the public that investing in cryptocurrencies, given its price volatility, is risky and not suitable for retail investors. Now, see that first part? Good. But to say it's not suitable for retail investors, do you hear that? Do you hear that? And how that correlates to what I've been saying here? Where some of these types, that's a hint. They're hinting. We don't want you, the little guy, the retail investor, to get into the crypto space. That's scary. That's scary there. We want you to have to go through a financial institution, right? And pay fees and have them manage it, and as if there never has been a stock market plunge or crash. The people have a short memory. It's back in 2008, 2009, the great financial crisis. You had all kinds of elderly people who were on fixed incomes, who had no ability to go out and do anything to help themselves, lose everything essentially, and see their incomes just erode, disappear overnight. And we don't, that can't happen again? Oh, it can happen. We're gonna see. You can't have decades of a market increase and go up and up and up and up and up and that never end. I mean, you can have it when they keep injecting stimulus, quantitative easing, and pumping that sucker and pumping it, but that ends at some point. It ends either in a crash that has to happen in a reset, or it happens with serious inflation, which is what everybody's concerned about right now. Anyway. To Singapore's credit, they say, our best defense is an informed public. Tharman Shanmugartnam, that's a tongue twister name, in a written reply said, consumers are educated to spot red flags such as the promise of quick and substantial profits If promised returns look too good to be true, they are. I agree with that. Enter Etherlight, Open Alexa Protocol, even Dogecoin, SafeMoon. You go on down the list, go down the list, go down the list, go down the list. Again, I'm not saying people shouldn't be free to do those things. They should. And some people are going to profit immensely. Some people are going to time things right, and they're going to make a killing, and that's great. A lot of other people are going to get hurt. That's a free market. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it exciting. That's what makes it profitable. That's why we're in it. Earlier this month, MoneySense, Singapore's national financial education program, launched a campaign to raise awareness of the risk of investment scams involving cryptocurrencies and online trading. This follows media reports of thousands of investors, including Singaporeans, who lost their life savings after investing in Torque, an online cryptocurrency trading platform. Yes, but see, this is not that they were not investing in crypto. They were investing in a centralized trading platform. These shysters. And so this is where a little bit of education needs to come in. When you're buying any of the crypto, the actual cryptocurrency assets, for the most part, you're not investing in a company that can just shut down, close doors, and disappear, right? It's a totally different world here. These are public blockchain, decentralized blockchains that nobody controls. And this is where some of this regulatory stuff is going to become interesting as well. How are they going to do these things that they want to do, even from a technical standpoint? It's very difficult. So what's happening elsewhere in Asia? Elsewhere in Asia, Hong Kong is considering banning retail investors from trading crypto and require all virtual asset trading platforms to obtain licenses to operate in the city. There you go. Exactly what I was saying. Hong Kong is considering banning retail investors, which means if you want to invest in crypto, you got to go through a broker, essentially. I don't know how they're even going to pull that off technologically. They're not, because what's going to happen is BISC and the other peer-to-peer decentralized trading platforms are just going to explode. We've seen it. We'll see it again. China, which has already banned cryptocurrency trading, recently introduced new regulations aimed at preventing illegal fundraising in the name of blockchain and cryptocurrency. At the Bao Forum in April, Li Bo, deputy governor of the PBOC, said that crypto assets should be regulated as alternative investments. Some China watchers took his remarks to mean that China was softening its stance on crypto assets, but Xiao Shangsheng, director of the Blockchain Research Center for O1 Finance, a Beijing-based fintech think tank, believed otherwise. He said this meeting just reaffirmed China's current regulatory approach to the cryptocurrency industry has been consistent since 2013. On the one hand, China actively supports and guides the application and innovation of blockchain technology. But on the other hand, it strengthens the supervision of cryptocurrencies and all kinds of tokens and resolutely cracks down on various illegal activities such as the issuance, financing, and trading of cryptocurrencies. So it's interesting. I mean, this just illustrates what is illegal in one country of the world, China, is legal in almost every other country of the world. Is the fact that something is illegal, does that mean that it's wrong? No, not when you have an authoritarian, totalitarian, communistic, oppressive regime like China. Same for the US, same for any other. Is it moral? Is it immoral just because it's illegal? Not necessarily. Is it moral because it's legal? Not necessarily. Governments are instituted to administer justice, but they don't always get it right, obviously. Just a cursory look at history illustrates this. Jeremy Britton, the CFO of, India Let's jump to India first. India, which has been mulling an outright cryptocurrency ban, recently introduced new cryptocurrency rules mandating that companies dealing in cryptocurrencies have to disclose their entire crypto holdings to the government in their financial statements. Jeremy Britton, the CFO of Boston Coin, told Forecast News that he believes efforts to ban cryptocurrency in India may prove futile. Yeah, the Indians, I've been to India a couple times. Wonderful people. I love going there. It's so adventurous. And they have a very, very loose regard, let's just put that, to put it mildly, for law, for their government, for whatever. I mean, just from the very base, low, very, very low level, all the way up to the top. You want to get anything done in India, it's about bribery, and it's hilarious. I mean, just in their driving alone on the roads, it's like clearly speed limits and stop signs and everything else are just suggestions, not even that. I don't even know why they're there. They're just, it's there. And so trying to regulate crypto in these places, especially places like India and Indonesia and on, let's go, Africa, they don't have the governmental infrastructure even to go after it, which is a positive thing. And it also means that in a lot of these places, the people there, they're going to be able to leapfrog over because they're going to be unhindered and not hampered by government as they innovate. They all have cell phones. They all have the technology in their hands now. So it's going to be fun to watch what happens there. For sure. Jeremy Britton said this: India putting a crypto ban is not going to make people stop using crypto. It's just going to make people use crypto illegally. That's going to make people distrust the government, and they know the entire world is using this. It's not going to stop people doing it. In fact, it'll have the opposite effect. Yeah, I agree with that. It's going to be the cookie jar. It's going to be the cookie in the cookie jar thing. Tell them they can't have it. They're going to want it even more. All right, I took a lot of time on that story here. Let's just blow through the rest of these because I don't want this to continue on for too long, and I need to get to some stuff today here. Willy Woo, an analyst that I like, an on-chain Bitcoin analyst. He takes a lot of the data that's released from Glassnode and presents it in his analysis, saying that there's no way we are entering a bear market. Popular on-chain analyst and market commentator Willy Woo has revealed that in this market cycle, strong BTC holders are accumulating at an unprecedented level as a large number of coins are moving from short-term holders to long-term holders. And there's charts to go along with that. Looking at the on-chain analysis of the transactions that are occurring, the data shows that whales and long-term holders are continuing to accumulate. And we see this repeatedly. We see this happening time and time again. When we have a drop in Bitcoin as we have right now, where it's at the $55,000 price, down from close to 60,000 at the high, over 60,000 at the high. Long-term holders, the believers, increase their positions, right? All right, for coin highlight of the day, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but Connect Financial is something that I have not talked about yet. It is currently number 721 in terms of market cap. So this is a little heard of, unknown, low market cap project, but they're doing some interesting things. And there are some people in our community who are huge fans of this, and they constantly are sending me information, and so I've decided that I'm going to talk about it. Finally, and there's a reason why I'm going to talk about it. It's because I do like some of the directions that they're moving. So Connect Financial, this token is CNFI, currently $1.14, down 12.1%. If you want to check out their website, it is connect.financial. It is currently an Ethereum token, which is one of the reasons why I've been hesitant to consider it as a possibility because of the issues with the fees and the transaction fees and all this sort of thing. And to do what they want to do on the Ethereum network just doesn't seem viable to me. You can currently pick it up on Uniswap or Ascendex, which is BitMax's DEX. Token is CNFI, as I said. What Connect Financial is doing is something similar to the BlockFi or the Celsius or the Abra, where they're going to have interest-bearing accounts and that sort of thing. But even more than that, they are going to have a cryptocurrency-backed Visa card. So what that means is instead of your typical process of applying for credit, getting a Visa card with a bank, you are going to put up crypto as capital, and then your balance on that Visa card, the credit that you will receive, will correlate to the amount of capital that you put in. So they call Connect, they call themselves the only true Visa crypto credit card. The world's first Visa crypto credit card. No other cryptocurrency card on the market actually offers credit. Unlike other cryptocurrency cards, the Connect card is a true Visa credit card. With our solutions, members can leave their cryptocurrency assets untouched as they benefit from actual credit offered by Connect services. Now, here's the one issue that I have with this is it's a custodial solution. So it means that you have to send your crypto to their platform and to their wallet. And then they give you credit. Thus, you can increase your purchasing power significantly while still holding onto your crypto, in so long as you continue to make your payments on your credit card, right? And this is where many people will get tripped up. The other aspect of this is there's all kinds of fees going on. But the flip side of that is they also are providing interest-bearing accounts and a lot of other very interesting and useful services. So with Connect Financial, you can use their credit and not your assets is the idea. When assets such as Bitcoin are loaded on your card as collateral, they extend a line of credit based on proportion to its total value, amplifying your purchasing power significantly. This way you can spend while keeping your cryptocurrency intact. They say they are not fans of restriction. Whether our members only require 1 card or 10, Connect services can accommodate their needs, invite family members to participate. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Where fiat and cryptocurrency meet. Your app-based Connect wallet puts easy currency management in your pocket. It capably handles fiat currency, most major cryptocurrencies and Ethereum tokens to simplify all your transactions and activities. They have insured institutional grade custody for your cryptocurrencies. So that's the thing that I was alluding to earlier that is a regulation that I wouldn't mind seeing, and that is that it would be insurance that protects against the loss of your assets, not the loss of value of your assets in the volatile market, but the loss of the assets themselves. So if you put 1,000 Bitcoin into Connect Financial and they somehow lose it, it's insured and you're going to get that 1,000 Bitcoin back. That's a good thing, which they're claiming to have. You'll also be able to buy, sell, and exchange currencies. So they're going to have it's going to be centralized. Again, keep that in mind, which is a downside, but it's going to be an exchange essentially. Manage your DeFi assets and execute strategies on the go. Borrow against your cryptocurrency holdings with cash wired straight to you. Earn interest by lending any of your assets. So it's going to kind of be a peer-to-peer lending protocol, but again, centralized peer-to-peer lending protocol. So not exactly like Uniswap, I do not believe. They're claiming to have institutional grade crypto custody. From the Faraday cage to pressure plates on the vault floor, we utilize a state-of-the-art cold storage that is protected by the pinnacle of physical and technological security. No one can access your assets without the correct credentials, including biometric clearance. Good. This sounds a lot like what Coinbase is doing. Bad because whoever it is that has those credentials and biometric clearance can get in there and can access that stuff, which means you're opening up the possibility of hacking and, but they're doing the best they can, it looks like, which is positive. Connect Financial understands the importance of your personal information and how to protect it. Your personal data is never stored on our servers. All of your personal information is stored in our partner's PCI DSS Level 1 compliant data site. So that's interesting as well. The issue with that, again, is when that partner gets subpoenaed, your transactions are going to be released. Pretty much almost guarantee it. Just something to be aware of, though. But again, I mean, this is the world we live in. That's how it is with banking. So this is more like a centralized banking solution. But there are some interesting features here for sure. They can insure assets up to $100 million per account. That's intense. Full hardware wallet support, transfer of assets between custodians as part of estate settlements. That's interesting too. So you can also earn with Connect. Connect's peer-to-peer lending system leverages Ethereum-based smart contracts to seamlessly generate passive yields for our members. By simply holding highly secure insured assets for DeFi lending, we make our members' crypto work for them. So that's a little bit of ambiguity there as to whether it's going to be true peer-to-peer DeFi with smart contracts or not. I'd have to dig deeper at some point, and we will. Just for now, I want to introduce you guys to this thing. Staking your Connect tokens. Returns on staking are based on the amount of Connect tokens members invest and the duration of their stake, as well as their current card tier. By using company profits to perform token buybacks and build liquidity pools, Connect Services ensures deep liquidity for all members. Staking rewards simply accumulate until members withdraw them. So they've got these tiers where you can have a basic card, a silver card, a gold card, a platinum card, and black. And to have silver, you have to have 5,000 Connect tokens, gold 20,000, platinum 100,000. And then you get different things like different rates for fiat conversion fees, right? So if you're going in and out of USD, so 1.50 if you're a basic member, 1.30%, 1% if you're gold. If these guys pull this off and they become very big, they're going to just make a killing. With all the fees and everything that are built into this system, they're going to just do phenomenally well. Again, I'm leery of this sort of thing because of the centralized nature of it. So similar to, but it's like a BlockFi, which, you have to just calculate that risk. And if that's something you're willing to do, it might work really well for you. And we already engage in all kinds of that type of thing with banks anyway, right? But I don't know. Still processing this one, guys. So I'm bringing this to your attention because it's interesting. And I'm bringing it to your attention for this one last reason. There's a story that, it's not a story, it's a report on the Connect Financial blog that illustrates something that I've been talking about. And that is these projects and platforms that want to become chain agnostic. And I think that's a great idea. It's a good idea. One of the reasons I'm apprehensive about jumping into the Connect Financial thing right now is because you're going to get eaten up by Ethereum fees, right? I really just don't feel like going and dealing with the hassle. I don't like using Uniswap right now. It's just nuts, the amount that, you start out already with. If you throw $1,000 in, you're starting out with a 10% loss or something already from the get-go, just because the fee is going to be close to $100 right now by the time everything is said and done, right? But here's the cool thing. In this blog post, they talk about their affiliate system, referral system, and whatnot. But then toward the end, they say this: the choice of a project's native blockchain is not a light decision today to make. There are considerations on the technical and cost side, along with the major consideration of user adoption and accessibility. Connect Financial made the initial decision to choose Ethereum as our chain due to the evolved nature of its ecosystem. It still maintains the largest user base and set of tools for users and developers. We do recognize the cost of doing business on Ethereum at the moment is considerable compared to a few select competitors. Our goals on the blockchain are meant to be chain agnostic. We deal with multiple networks and are meant to be open for expansion. As such, we want to announce that we are applying for the Cardano Project Catalyst Fund Round 6. Read more about it here and here. This is an IOHK funded platform to accelerate the development of projects on the Cardano platform. They supply, amongst other things, technical assistance in creating migrations or bridges from Ethereum to ADA. Our proposal will be to create the bridge for our staking portal and CNFI tokens to exist simultaneously on both platforms, along with accelerating the acceptance of ADA as a major collateral on the Connect platform, ultimately providing access to collateralized liquidity for over 250,000 ADA holders in the form of the Connect Financial Visa credit card. This is good. If they do this, if they successfully do this, then I will look at this more seriously, because then all of the issues with Ethereum and its transaction fees just go away, right? Oh, and this is what we're going to see happen, friends, more and more. This is just another example of a project that's doing good things, bringing real world use, running up against roadblock and hurdles and difficulties with the Ethereum blockchain. And so now they're jumping on to Cardano and others. They say, we strongly feel that Cardano will have a strong future in the future of decentralized cryptocurrency, and we want to establish an early footprint in their ecosystem. After all, you cannot spell Cardano without card. Making it a Connect Financial Visa card is just that much sweeter. We have already began work on bridging with Binance Smart Chain and continue to evaluate other options. This is smart. And I think this is the way it's going to go initially, early on. A lot of these different platforms, whether it be Bondly in the NFT market, whether it be Connect with the Visa card and liquidity, interest-bearing accounts, and all the other stuff that they're doing, or others that we've talked about and we've seen, they're going to be able to operate on Ethereum, on Cardano, on Solana. And I think what's going to happen is over time, in the end, we're going to see that the platforms, the smart contract platforms, the big players, whether it's Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, Avalanche, you name it, the ones that attract the biggest community and have the best technology, the lowest fees, the best developer tools, etc., are going to win out in the day. And this is one of the most exciting things to watch in the cryptocurrency space right now. In the short term, it's likely that we'll see certain things get pumped just because of the nature of the internet and the nature of meme-driven type of, celebrity-driven type of things that goes on in this space right now. But eventually, over time, I think what we'll see play out is that the best technologies and the best projects are going to come to the top, are going to rise to the top, to the point that I do believe, and I'll wrap up with this, that one day we will see whichever Web 3.0 smart contract project wins the day is going to surpass Bitcoin. Because store of value, as fantastic as that is not enough to maintain the number one spot, in my view. I could be wrong. All right, let's wrap things up quickly with our crypto terminology segment. As we always do, we are in Q today, QR code, a machine-readable label that shows information encoded into a graphical black and white pattern. For cryptocurrencies, this is often used to easily share wallet addresses with others. I think everyone knows what a QR code is. We'll do the R's really quickly. Wrecked, R-E-K-T, a shorthand slang for wrecked, describing a bad loss in a trade. ROI, short for return on investment, the ratio between the net profit and cost of investing. Raiden Network, an off-chain scaling solution aiming to enable near-instant, low-fee, and scalable payments on the Ethereum blockchain, similar to Bitcoin's proposed Lightning Network. Rank, the relative position of a cryptocurrency by market capitalization. Rebase, a token designed so that the circulating supply adjusts automatically according to price fluctuations. Regulated. Regulation is when something is controlled by a specific set of rules. Relative Strength Index, or RSI, a form of technical analysis that serves as a momentum oscillator, measuring the speed and change of price movements. Replay attack. Replay attacks are network security attacks where the comms between a sender and receiver is intercepted. Replicated ledger, a copy of a distributed ledger in a network that is distributed to all participants in a cryptocurrency network. Resistance line level, the highest price level of an asset during a specific period. Reverse indicator, a person whom you may use as an indicator of how not to place, buy, or sell orders because they are always wrong at predicting price movements of cryptocurrencies. I'm sure there are some people out there who felt like that. They're a reverse indicator. Hey guys, I bought XYZ token. Time to sell. It's gonna drop. I finally got in. Ring signature, a cryptographic digital signature that obfuscates the identity of two parties with a transaction. Rug pull, a rug pull is a type of scam where developers abandon a project and take their investors' money. Es no bueno. Okay, my friends, I thank you for spending your time with me today. As always, look forward to talking with you tomorrow. I hope you have an incredible Tuesday. This Tuesday, May 11th. Remember, it's always a good day to earn and stack more crypto. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye now.